Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday, so it's time for my midweek pickup. Today, I want to talk about the getting put on factor, if you will. First off, I hope everybody's having a good week. Hope everybody had a good Memorial Day weekend this past weekend. It was cool. I had family come in town, so that's always cool. A lot of work been going on here lately. But the put on factor. In today's culture, of course, we do have a lot of expectations of always getting hooked up or getting the hookup or looking for the shortcut in everything instead of doing what we need to do to make it happen for ourselves. And that's a little bit that I want to talk about today. Sometimes we look towards certain people for certain things, especially when we're trying to get things going for ourselves or whatever. I've talked on this before. A lot of people don't understand the the notion of somebody trying to learn from them as a learning experience versus somebody who's trying to come in and kind of step on their toes. And a lot of people are very guarded by this. So it's something that I understand. It's not something that I don't get or whatever. But sometimes you have to know when it's good to let the guard down, and sometimes you have to know when it's good to keep the guard up. Um, there's a lot of people who may be in your circle that you know have certain areas of expertise, if you will, and they may be able to help you out a little bit more with whatever you're trying to do. But then that person may not be as available to you as you may want them to be. Now, this should never be a roadblock for you, but always know that when you're trying to do something, nothing is going to come to you easy. So, especially when it's something that you're really serious about and you're really trying to work for, it's not anything that's going to come easy. So, you have to know that you have to put your work in maybe 10, 15 times more than you would versus if you had this person to sit down with you, kind of show you the ropes or whatever, or kind of point you in the right direction. Now, I'm not saying that you get all upset and frustrated with the people who you think are going to help you get to where you need to be, but maybe this is just a sign for you telling you that, hey, you don't need the put on aspect. You can put yourself on, period. There may be a lot of people who come to you with a lot of different things, and they may talk a good game to you or whatever. They may say that they have this and that, and they want you to be a part of this, or they want you to help structurally stabilize something that could be great. And then you either go for it and then you help them get put on, and then you watch their whatever grow into something that they want it to be, and maybe you're trying to do the same thing but you put yourself on the back burner. That's the number one mess up of all time. Don't get it confused when you have somebody that is actually trying to be a mentor to you versus somebody who's trying to use you for what you have. Now, I say that because there is going to be a lot of people who may see what you do and see the area that you're in, and they may see that, hey, this person is great at what they're doing or whatever. Maybe I can get this person on with me and help me get my stuff where it needs to be. And sometimes that's cool. Sometimes that works out, but most of the time it does not work out. And then you get the notion to where it's like, I went to help this person isn't helping me or whatever, and then you get the bitterness aspect of the whole thing, and that's not something that you're trying to pick up, because you always have to know that every time something negative comes around, it's going to bring you back 3 or 4 steps. So instead of worrying about the negativity in every situation, you have to look at the positive side. Hey, I did this. Let me take these 3 points from what I just did and make this a learning aspect for me, so I know next time something like this comes around, I won't fall for the same thing. Now, and I say put yourself on because sometimes that's just what you have to do. You can't wait for somebody to come along and help you get to where you need to be, because they're still focusing on getting themselves to where they need to be. So why would they stop working on themselves to help you get to where you need to be? That's why you have to put yourself on. Sometimes you try and help people out, give them the hookup or whatever, but a lot of people already know that, so they'll take advantage of you in that area. And that's where you have to stand firm, say, hey, this is what I'm going for, this is what I'm not going for, this is the set rate of this, and then go with it from there. Everybody can't get hooked up, everybody can't get a handout or whatever, and everybody's not going to get the help that they think that they deserve or they think that they need. That's why you have to look at putting yourself on. Yes, you may have excuse me. Yes, you may have people in certain areas that can help you get there. But again, you have to realize when they're trying to build something for themselves, they're not going to put themselves on the back burner for you when you're just starting out and they already have something, going as far as getting to where they need to be. So you always have to be prepared. You always have to be steadfast and headstrong, because if you're not, you're going to let the disappointment of them not doing what you expect them to do consume you. And then when you let that consume you, that's going to do a number of things. It's going to slow you down. It's going to take away your momentum. It's going to take away your motivation. And then you're going to be too worried about that situation versus worrying about yourself and what you need to do to be pushing forward and getting you where you need to be, versus worrying about when is this person going to help me and point me in the right direction. Don't wait around for it. Go out there and make it for yourself. It's the only way that some of us are going to make it. Now, don't get me wrong. Some people do come through for you. Some people do, what you ask them to or whatever the case may be. But then later on, they may be looking for, they might have their hand out or whatever. Always know what's going to benefit you and what's not going to benefit you. Always know that all money is not good money. And I know that's really hard for some of us, because a lot of us think that all money is good money. No matter if you find it, on the ground somewhere and it's 3 pennies, that's 3 pennies that I didn't have. Some people have that mind state. But again, all money is not good money. You can be offered something, you can take it, and then a few weeks later, you can be in a situation where you know that you should not have done that. But you can't get out of it because you were so money hungry. All you seen was the dollar signs, and then you jumped at it, and you may have jumped in the pool where you wasn't supposed to jump into, and it wasn't a shallow end for you to stand up in. So with all that being said, I just want to say, watch out, make sure you make the right decisions. Don't get frustrated with people when you think that they're supposed to help you, and always know that most of the time you're going to have to put yourself on. You're going to have to find it for yourself so you can do it for yourself. Because the one thing that you have to understand is when you're up busting at late nights and you have early mornings or whatever, that's just you. That's not the people you're asking for help from. That's not the people who you think are going to help you or who you think should be helping you. No, it's going to be you that's up losing sleep, that's up doing what you have to do to provide and do for your family or whatever. So always keep that in mind. With that being said, I hope everybody has a good rest of the week. It's the first of the month, so rent is due. With that being said, put God first, family second, everything else will follow. Other than that, I will see y'all next week.